أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. My dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum jami'an wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Every Imam of the Ahlulbayt alayhim afdalus salatu wassalam had a designated position. And that designation and role that he played was very clear in his title. Every Imam alayhi afdalus salatu wassalam had a title, and within the title you can know what was his designation. Those titles usually are given by other Imams of other Ahlul Bayt and sometimes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Al-Imam al-Hussein is the Shaheed because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to highlight the segment of his life. Al-Imam Ali ibn al-Hussein alayhi afdalus salatu wassalam is the adornment of worshippers, Zainul Abidin, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to highlight this segment in his life. So they excel in that certain domain and therefore they attain those beautiful titles. Here's a question: what is the title of Al-Imam al-Ridha alayhi afdalus salatu wassalam? In other words, what is this major role that he played? Make sure to check the episode that we spoke about him migrating from Medina, or being summoned, if you will, summoned from Medina towards Khurasan by Al-Ma'mun al-Abbasi. After saying that those are, if you will, the least important years that he spent were in Khurasan, then what is the major role? Because many of us may think to themselves that the major role is him being the Sultan, right? That's what we call an Imam. The major role is him being the crown prince and whatnot. In fact, this is the least important role, if you will, that he played in his life, in terms of the interest and in terms of the time. Okay? Do you know how many years Al-Imam Ali afdalus salatu wassalam spent in Khurasan? He spent only 3 years. He was 55 years old and he spent only 3 years. So we're not doing justice, we're not being fair if we can find this entire, if you will, legacy of Al-Imam Ali afdalus salatu wassalam in this idea of being the crown prince. Rather, if we want to know what was his designation, we need to look at what Ahlul Bayt alayhim afdalus salatu wassalam said about him. I want to bring to your attention a very important riwayah, narration that states the title of Al-Imam alayhi afdalus salatu wassalam. Inshallah, when we are granted the visit, we can address him with that beautiful title, inshallah ta'ala. So Muhammad ibn Ishaq, Abu Salt al-Harawi narrates from Muhammad ibn Ishaq ibn al-Imam Musa al-Kadhim alayhi afdalus salatu wassalam. He says, كان يجمع بنيه, الإمام الكاظم يجمع بنيه ويشير إلى الإمام الرضا ويقول هذا أخوكم علي بن موسى عليه أفضل الصلاة والسلام عالم آل محمد. This is your brother. He would bring all his children, and it's well known that he had a lot of children. So he would gather them and he would point to Imam al-Ridha عليه أفضل الصلاة والسلام, stating the following: هذا علي بن موسى الرضا عالم آل محمد. This is the scholar of Al-Muhammad, the scholar of the Ahlul Bayt alayhim afdalus salatu wassalam. So he excelled in that domain. This is the title of Al-Imam, Alimu Ali Muhammad alayhi afdalus salatu wassalam. And we find that even in the visitations and the ziyarat. Okay? And furthermore, he says, خُذُوا عَنْهُ أَدْيَانَكُمْ وَاكْتُبُوا مَا يَقُولُ لَكُمْ. Take your religion from him and write down and memorize what he says. فإني سمعت أبي جعفر بن محمد يقول غير مرة. I have heard my father Ja'far ibn Muhammad say numerous times, many a times in many occasions, إن لفي صلبك عالم آل محمد. So Imam Ja'far speaking to Imam Musa al-Kadhim alayhi afdalus salatu wassalam and telling him that in your lineage is the scholar of Al-Muhammad alayhim afdalus salatu wassalam. ليتني أدركته. He says, I wish that I live long enough so I can meet him. فَإِنَّهُ سَمِيُّ أَمِيرُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. Because he is indeed named after Ali, Amir al-Mu'mineen, the commander of the faithful, alayhi afdalus salatu wassalam. That's a beautiful indication right there also. Just to tell you that the knowledge which is being presented from this scholar is but a continuation from the knowledge of Imam Ali alayhi afdalus salatu wassalam. If you want to summarize the knowledge journey of the Ahlul Bayt alayhim afdalus salatu wassalam, we know very well that it started from Ali ibn Abi Talib and the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Okay, where he says, أعلمكم علي أقضاكم علي أنا مدينة العلم وعلي بابها. Amir al-Mu'mineen, he puts his hand on his chest and he says, إن ها هنا لعلما جما لو وجدت له لقنا. Right here I have abundance of knowledge. I wish I would find someone that could understand this knowledge. And then this knowledge was expanded upon in the time of who? Al-Imam al-Baqir was Sadiq. And later on it was perfected by Al-Imam Ali ibn Musa Rida alayhi afdal salatu wassalam. He completed the knowledge of Ahlulbayt alayhi afdal salatu wassalam. He repelled a lot of doubts and misconceptions, if you will. Okay, he corrected and confirmed a lot of ahadith. People would come to Al-Imam alayhi salatu wasalam. They would say, يَقُولُ النَّاسِ أَنَّ الرَّسُولَ قَالْ كَذَا وَكَذَا. And he would say, لا لا, قَالَ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَآلِهِ وسلم. He would confirm if this hadith, he would authenticate, if you will, ahadith. Okay, so this was the major role of Al-Imam Ali ibn Musa Rida alayhi afdal salatu wasalam, my dear brothers. He attended 19 global conferences, okay, and upscale conferences where the head of the Supreme Church and the Supreme Rabbis and Sabi'a and the experts of theology from the other schools of thought of Islam, they would gather there, and Imam alayhi afdal salatu wasalam simply and surely and very professionally would refute all their arguments. So he was able to, if you will, bring the level and the knowledge of the Ahlul Bayt alayhi afdal salatu wasalam to a next level. So indeed he is the scholar of Ali Muhammad. Wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina wa Nabiyyina Muhammadin wa alihi at-tayyibin at-tahirin.